And it looks like Brandenburg and Poland are just making very, very slow progress in expanding. We actually have papal forces up here as well. So the Papal States very much throwing their weight into this conflict. The naval blockade doing its part to stop Mamelukes from intervening elsewhere. Where's the Mameluke military, meanwhile? Mameluke military is currently in the Ottomans. So the Papal States, if they really wanted to, could launch some attacks on Mameluke home territories just to knock them out of the war, although that would not be without risks. Meanwhile, Muscovy marching in against Brandenburg, and this is a very isolated Brandenburg, 18,000 against 25,000, but we have another 40,000 Muscovy on the way in. 4.2 morale versus 4.4. 1.5 tactics against 1.7 for Muscovy, so Muscovy has got the better military tactics. Brandenburg fighting at a -1. This is a siege. We do have another 10,000 marching in, so this is 29,000 against 57,000. 12,000 Poles on the way. 36,000 Papal troops on the way in as well, but will they be able to get there in time? I am not sure that they will. 17,000 Finns coming in as well. But I don't think that Brandenburg's going to be able to hold. How long do they need to do this? 2 days, 2nd, 3rd of February. It looks like they are starting to disintegrate. I don't think Brandenburg's going to make this, and this is going to be very bad for the Polish and Papal combined forces, because they are just 4 days, 3 days away from that reinforcement. It's now going to be 48,000 against 70,000, and Muscovy is going to be defending. Here comes Poland, and then the next day here comes the Papal States. So 115% discipline. But this is a -2 combat because they have the river crossing as well. 3.5 morale versus 4.4. This is a bad defeat for the Polish side. As well with Muscovy with their level 5 fire general as well. So yeah, sent packing there. Muscovy able to eke back a little bit of their former strength. The Germans losing at Sukhov is Alexander Novisky once again. Yeah, I know we're on speed 1. I'm not the host, so I can't do anything about that. The players have mentioned it a few times to Fiora. I suspect it's just because there's so much going on right now that it's a bit difficult. Blue Kiwi is still fighting Oirat. What is Oirat doing? Let's go and take a look. Oirat with actual money in the bank. Couple of armies. They've hired a John Pur army who are currently fighting against Korchin. But Oirat's army is looking relatively small. Milan has joined the conflict. Milan joining in against Sweden, against Mamluks as well. So it's just Mamluks and Ajam now against Sweden, Austria, Milan, Oirat. So the Mamluks in 2 different wars. Yes, 3 different wars in fact. So they got the AI only one, which is that one. Then they got the war against Brandenburg, which is helping out Muscovy. And then they have the one which they declared against Sweden, which is just an intervention war because of great powers being fought. So Muscovy starting to take back some of the territories that they had lost. Mamluk forces returning down here. The Papal States withdrawing from their blockade. The Papal States are very much in this fight still. 46 galleys against 27. I'm not sure why they're doing this. Oh, unless it's attrition. Yeah. So if we take a look at the Papal States, we can see that this is outside the supply ship range. So they will have just been taking attrition. In fact, some of their ships are rather badly injured because of that. So the Papal States will have needed to try and get access from Spain, maybe? I'm not sure that would have helped. Possibly England. I mean, the best one would have been the Ottomans and the Knights, but I don't see that happening. But then again, the Mamluks probably... the Ottomans probably don't exactly want the Mamluks to do well. So maybe they would have given fleet basing rights. England close to forming Great Britain. I'm a little bit surprised that they haven't already. Unless they're just staying as England. Form British nations turned off. They just need to be at peace. England's joined the war! Okay, so this is why the Papal fleet has just retreated, because the Papal States is at war with England. This is the English humiliation of the Papal States, so the two must be rivals. Papal States, Brandenburg, Milan, Sweden against England and Tyrconnell. This is 19 heavies against just 2, 27 galleys, so the Papal States must have just lost a fight, I guess. Ottomans aren't in that war. Where's England's navy? here. So England did just fight the Papal States. 13 galleys taken there. And they can also raid all of this. And they haven't been, apparently. With their 19 galleys and the Falcon, which is the flagship trade route, which means that these guys all get trade ability. Standardized signal book, which means extra movement speed. And then improved crow's nest for additional engagement width. Yeah, engagement width is really, really important. Austria, meanwhile, demanding an enforced peace against England. So Austria starting to intervene against their wayward English prince. And is Austria still in the conflict against the Mamluks? They are. Are Austrian armies on the march anywhere? Yes, somewhere. Austrian armies currently marching through the Ottoman lands, going after the Mamluk territories themselves. Has England agreed to the peace out? England has accepted the enforced peace from Austria. So England being kept out of this, although the damage has been done to the Papal States Navy. So whoever brought them in did a pretty good job there. Who controls Cyprus? I think Mamluks. It's a Mamluk vassal from the start of the game. When did the stream start? 3 hours ago. We should be stopping in about 3 minutes. So there's a lot of player wars going on. And as has been said numerous times in the Europa Universalis dev clash, the Paradox dev clashes, you don't want to be ending a stream. You don't want to be ending a session while in player wars. And there are a lot of player wars. There are a lot of players here with power that could finagle things afterwards. Although I am now noticing that Poland has actually peaced out. Poland no longer in the conflict. Friesland. Oh no, that's Brandenburg. Why did I read that as Friesland? Wow, that was wrong. I think it was just the colour.
Hello.
Hey.
Have you took a look at Inca lately?
I have not. I have been constantly commentating on the player wars. There have been so many of them.
The English have taught us some pirate ways.
Oh, interesting. Wait, you're not a Pirate Republic, are you?
A grand
oh my
pirate
gosh, you are.
confederacy.
Okay, that is hilarious. Ha! Oh, I love it. That's a great change.
Right.
Yeah, nice move there, and well done on the Reformation. You are now catching up with the Europeans, I believe.
Yeah.
Well done.
And I'll leave you to the play.
So yeah, Inca have now become a reformed state, so they have embraced the Pirate Confederacy as taught to them by their new British neighbours. That's funny. Sweden is also in Ottoman territories. The Ottomans still not in this war. Ah, I see. So the Ottomans have given access to Austria and their allies. We have 66,000 Swedes moving in. So somebody has definitely been paying Swedish debt. Maybe. No. Sweden's just piling in the money to try and hold on as long as they can. As we've seen various players doing in previous multiplayer games like this. Although then having to pay the interest off as well, which is going to be relatively significant. But probably relying on a bankruptcy to deal with the financial impact. Although that is not without danger. Especially when you're someone like Sweden with eager neighbours whose truces may not last as long as the bankruptcy. Meanwhile, Mamelukes are raising an army very, very quickly. Do we have a Mameluke army down here? We do not. 20,000 men, 8,000 men, and then 15,000 men. So this is the entire Mamluk army at the moment. But Austria and Sweden really showing up in power. Although Sweden taking a huge amount of attrition at the moment, taking that siege, which is probably not the best idea. Meanwhile, Brandenburg sitting in Mittau, which is not a fort. Probably waiting for Riga to go positive, doing as much attrition as they can. This is a river crossing, this is a forest. So if their maneuver is better than the Muscovite maneuver, they might actually be able to force a river crossing in that battle as well. At least I think that's how it works. Meanwhile, Halab has fallen. I'm a little bit surprised that there's not just a chain of forts along this. This has got to be one of the most dangerous borders in the game, with the possible exception of this one, although this one actually moves. And the Swedes are pushing south with real alacrity. Austria kind of being left snoozing there in the north. And Sweden immediately moving into Damascus, trying to siege that down. It is a level 2 siege, but there are 18,000 Swedish artillery here, so that fort is not going to last very long. Does Sweden have offensive ideas to make those sieges go even quicker? I don't think they do. No, they have defensive ideas instead. You know what? Offensive with Sweden would be scary. And the Mamluks have unconditionaled. Probably gambling on the fact that their enemies can't take much from them. So they've unconditionaled against Sweden. Sweden could force countries out, they could force money, and they could get a lot of money from the Mamluks. Which is quite possibly what they're planning to do here. And who was that? Austria has a decision. Abolish armed regiments, embrace counter-reformation. No. So we have 1 minute of surrender time right at the end of this session. So one of the player wars will be over at least. And they are handing territory over to Austria and Poland. So Austria and Poland trying to take some of the coast here. Of course, Austria's colonial. So Austria may well actually want to have a chunk of Alexandria so that they can start pushing money into Venice. Now that's interesting. Looks like they're taking Aleppo. Maybe to deny trade to the Ottomans? And that war is over. So we do have a couple of enclaves down here. We have Milan with a province, and then Austria as well. And actually, Austria took Cyprus. So a definite little space for trade down there. And Fua has just pieced out, and I think this is probably the end of the session. Everyone's moving into one chat, I guess. Let me just go and check with Fua as soon as I find which one he's in.
Let's go into Riga.
Lebanon is formed.
Is that the end, Fua?
It's the end.
All
Yes,
right,
we had to teach someone a lesson.
Yeah, I'll start moving people into this channel. Except people aren't moving. Why aren't people moving?
I want Lebanon.
Hello.
Hello.
Poland into HRE.
Welcome to the Empire.
Could you guys move into the dwarfs? For some reason I can't move you in there.
Happy I got that before the session ended.
Okay.
Oh, me too.
So yeah, that was a hell of a session. Just continual
What?
blue flames. That was
Yeah.
absolutely
Every-
ridiculous.
Yes.
Everything
Yes.
about my
I
nation
gave my
hurts
best.
right now. My nation
So
hurts right now.
the Bank of the Netherlands is... Ow.
Is in full swing. Yeah, we've got the Bank of India, we've got the Bank of the Netherlands, the Bank of North Africa.
I probably shouldn't have been sending as much money as I did, but I don't regret.
Yeah, but Sweden survived because of you.
Hey.
Sweden will live again.
Sweden was putting up a hell of a fight. Like, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
such a close thing, and then the Ottomans had to come in and ruin it all.
Well, hey,
Hey.
I had been
The
trying to
Ottomans
upgrade.
clearly hate fun, puppies, and also possibly might have said something anti-Semitic. I mean, they're
I've
just...
been trying to upgrade my center of trade for 40 years, and I was tired of the fact that you wouldn't white peace out of the damn
We
war. so I
offered you a
worked on my-
workers.
We offered you a white peace, mate.
No, you
I-
didn't. We did.
I
Yes,
wanted-
we did. We
I
offered
wanted
the
Hilton's
Ottomans,
white
not you. I offered him 5 white pieces.
You didn't offer me any white pieces.
I didn't offer you
You're
shit.
not the
You're not gonna have
Ottoman,
this shit.
Nelson.
I'm coming back for you as soon as possible, mate. There's no way.
But this was crazy. We had the great Indian Thunderdome with Bahmanis Delhi versus
Yes.
Jampur Oirat. We had the northern clash with Muscovy versus Sweden and
in-
Oirat.
Then you had the
Can I
Polish.
There was a
They
lot of
had
shenanigans
Thunderdome.
in Germany, too.
We had the
Hey,
German
I
shenanigans.
took
We had the
I
Polish.
helped with Constantinople.
We had the Polish
Yes,
Brandenburg
oh.
War. We had the humiliation of the naval coalition against England. Like,
Oh,
everything has been happening here.
That was
Can I-
so bad.
Can
I might have gotten Spanish Armada. Yep.
Yeah, you really did. I really
Can I
did.
fix something about that
Oh,
India
also
Thunderdome?
Poland
It
into
was
HRE.
Jaunpur Oirat versus Baha, Delhi, Ajam, Mamelukes, Morocco, and Tunis.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's more of a Muslim Thunderdome. You know?
Hey, the Muslims won.
the
That's all that
moment.
matters.
And then
Yeah.
also the
send about 300,000 troops into there, yeah, sure.
and then the constant swapping of the Lithuanian crown. Is it Polish? Is it not Polish? Is it Polish? Is it not Polish? Nobody
I finally
knows.
lost. I finally lost
Hey,
it, and then just couldn't
Poland
get it
is
back.
part of the
Stacking
HRE now.
Okay,
Hey, the French sacking of Constantinople cannot be ignored.
that's true.
Hey, those are...
That was
Habsburgs.
That
the
was
Habsburgs have
That was
on
technically
my
Habsburgs
control.
now have Habsburgs now have jurisdiction over the island of Cyprus, and are maybe controlling the state of North Syria
Yes,
and
I
also
noticed that.
Jerusalem.
And
Yep.
the Crusader states are back because I did a dumb thing.
Yes, Anyway, I'm going to have to call this one here. So thank you everyone for playing. That has been an absolutely magnificent game. Like so many shenanigans. I heartily applaud
Indeed.
that. So well done. Same again next week.
Yeah, well.
Should have a crusade,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Yeah, next week. Should be on.
That guy can meet me in another channel.
Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have, be sure to hit that follow button so you get notifications when we're live again in the future. If you've really enjoyed this, then do consider subscribing, or you can also become a patron over at patreon.com/MordredViking. I do have a YouTube channel, which you can find at youtube.com/MordredViking, where this entire series is currently being uploaded. And then finally, there is a Discord if you want to join the wonderful community that we have going on here. That's where all of these guys are from as well. And that is at the link I've just provided. That's it from me for today, and from everyone here. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.